Come on over. Hey, what's going on? What's going on, everybody? Darby Rollins here with
Zachariah Stratford here.
Boom. What's good? What's good? We are just going to be hopping in today, really just kind of jamming around, using Jarvis a little bit, talking with anybody that's tuning in with us live, inviting you guys up onto the stage if you are working on a book or struggling with Jarvis, and maybe give you some hopefully helpful pointers to help you along. So we're kind of just going to be talking a little bit about, in the meantime, what we're up to with inside of the book patch on with Zachariah. They got some really cool stuff going. It's going to help all of our authors and writers get their books actually kind of published and pushed through. Obviously, the next challenge we've got coming up is on June 7th. And so in the meantime, we are just working on, again, just kind of helping out the community here, giving some helpful Jarvis advice, and also getting your feedback on what you guys would like to see here. How are things going over at the book patch, Zachariah? I know we got somebody just popped in. Nice to see a comment if you're here, but and you got any updates on the hardcovers or the new machines?
Yeah, hardcovers are coming. I know we have two of the three machines that we need right now, and we had all three of them ready to go, and then one kind of fell out. But with COVID, it's been difficult to get machines going. But hardcovers are coming. And then what that will develop as well with hardcovers is we'll be able to do box sets. So you'll be able to create like a series of 3 or 4 or 5. If you already have a series, but do that and then create a box set and sell that to your customers as well. So that's something that we've been asked for years. So super excited to be able to bring that to the market here.
Oh yeah, I'm pumped to be able to just open up more doors for the writers that are going through the challenge using Jarvis Publishing, not being reliant on Amazon, or even just like knowing where to print your books if you want to, because I felt a distinct difference in the quality from Book Patch versus Amazon.
Right.
Not that it was terrible quality with Amazon, but they have higher fees and stuff associated with that.
Right. The big thing with us is we're focused on printing a really good quality book and offering a service that people can launch their book from. We're not trying to gouge our customers with royalties for every book they sell. We make our money in printing, and so that's why we focus on printing a very high quality book at relatively the same rates as what you find at the book or at Amazon.
Cool. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting some of these advanced reader copies out. I know, for everyone tuning in right now, if you have bought the book, the digital version and the physical version, I think we're pretty much all set to shoot an email out to everybody tomorrow with a link to get your digital formatted edition, along with the bonus material that we have. So pumped for that. And then everyone that pre-ordered a physical copy, you should be getting yours from the book patch, I'd imagine, in the next, inside the next week, right?
Yeah, so those will come. Again, we're 3 to 5 business days printing. So we're going to start printing all of those orders and shipping next week during launch week. So we'll try to get those shipped. Everyone shipped out by the end of next week. That orders physical copies. So I'll be taking care of that.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to it, man. This is there's a lot that goes into one of these full-blown launches, as we're obviously kind of learning as we continue to go, right? There's the minimum viable product edition of your book that we really kind of like push people towards inside of the challenge, and really I think it's kind of like a rolling project, right? Like there is a point where you step away completely and say, all right, I'm done with this, but given the space that we're in particular, there's not going to be any lack of revisions or additions to the book once we really get it out there into a lot more people's hands. And I think, like, with the way the books are going too, and just e-learning in general, one of my goals in particular with this is to continue to break out the content and apply it to different parts of the book so you can get really actionable material right alongside reading it. And that's why we've included Matthew, Thrush's research and outline masterclass in the book, as well as John Rhodes' interview. That they're both in the challenge.
I think the benefit to what we're doing and what you'll find in Publish with Jarvis is it's not just like reading a book on how to write a book, right? Or reading a book on writing, or even taking a writing course, or the weekly writing challenges you see. We're actually taking people, like we say, from blank page to published, and giving them every tool they need and every part of the process readily available. And then those videos, are a huge chunk of what we do through the live challenge as well, and is a critical part of the material. So it's not like we're giving throwaway bits of material that could be part of the challenge. I mean, they're absolutely crucial. So we're almost giving our best bits away, but that's part of what we're doing here. We're trying to just get people to publish more books and be able to tell their story. And that's why I love working with you on all of this. I think it's really good information, and I think people are going to be able to get a lot of value out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And everyone that's tuning in right now, just kind of popping in, we're just kind of talking a little bit about where we're up to with the Publish with Jarvis book launching next week. And also, if anybody here is working on a book and they feel kind of stuck and are looking for maybe new ways to use Jarvis in their book, say hey in the comments. And if you'd like, we're kind of open for the next 30 minutes or so, just an open stage if anyone wants to come up and chat a little bit about their book, talk with some people in the community here in Jarvis Underground. But I know I'm really excited to see what kind of happens next week. We're looking at a lot of ways, right? This whole book is about getting Jarvis to more people, right? And showing people that this is possible, that, AI, futuristic as it sounds, is here, and it's helping a lot of people achieve a lot of things. In some cases that they never would have done before, but also, even if you would have, just a lot faster. So,
it's just, there's this really clear gap. And I think that's where Jarvis fits in and what we're doing with Publish with Jarvis. There's an extremely clear gap of you want to write a book, just an everyday person that wants to write a book, and then, I can't do it, to ghostwriter being $60K, right, for someone to come in and write your book. Yeah. And there's literally no in between. And I think that's where Jarvis comes in, is he's that really nice in between. You still feel like you're writing a book. You're getting the help you need with writer's block and cutting down that time frame. And you can either do, as affordably as possible. You could, per se, using buying the book, you could get it all done for free, pretty much. So I think the tools that we're bringing are next level, and it's changing the way people publish books. I mean, we have 60,000 published books on our site now on the book patch, and if we could get everyone to write their books with Jarvis, it would only just further how many people can tell their story.
Yeah, and I know one of the things with the book patch, you guys have a lot of not all fiction by any means, but definitely more of a majority than the people who have come into the challenge here. And so, I have no idea how this looks necessarily, but because Jarvis still doesn't really seem to be the fill-in piece for creating a fiction novel or things like that, but it's really kind of helpful for still doing the creative, different angles, different perspective on a story that you might be thinking about writing and can still inspire. Do you think, or how would you even work on put together a fiction novel course different than a nonfiction? Because right now we're mostly everyone going through this challenge is nonfiction. It's a business lead gen type of book. I'm curious from your perspective, seeing what we've done now after these months, what is a fiction book differ from nonfiction? What kind of trainings are we maybe seeing in the future?
I think the trainings that we're missing are character development. If I were to say the largest thing is and then more focused on story, and the hero's journey, right? That, like, how you tell a story and the characters, that how the story, how you develop a character across a novel is really crucial inside of fiction writing. So there's a lot more that goes into it, because you're not really where nonfiction, you can kind of, you're just telling your story and then you're showing results, right? And then you're answering the problems that come along with that. Where you have to develop that and create that all from your imagination with nonfiction. So it's a lot harder.
Yeah, I mean, even writing like a fiction novel, like just as much as writing a short book is a task. Like that's trying to eat a mountain.
Right. I would love to down the road develop that into and develop tools in that inside of Jarvis. We got too much we're doing right now, though.
Yeah, I'm not trying to add any more to my or your plate. Cool. I can't see who commented, but hello. Whoever commented down there. I don't know if you can see it, Zach. I'm trying to.
Oh no, I can't see.
No.
Oh, I see Facebook user. That's all I've got. But
thanks, Facebook user. You're awesome.
Do you have a book that you're working on?
Yeah, let me see. Oh, it's Ravi. What's up, Ravi?
What's up, Ravi?
So Ravi, shout outs to Ravi for giving the first suggestion back on publish with Jarvis versus writing with Jarvis. It's really interesting to see the people and the reasons why on both sides of the fence. But I mean, I think it's just in action, what does it look like to like listen to feedback from your early advanced, readers? And like, how do you take that feedback and apply it? A lot of authors will go back and forth, I know, on their book title till the very last minute in some cases. I mean, even us, we were looking at the subtitle and making a few last minute changes. What are some of the roadblocks that you've seen, like specifically? Can you think like to one that sticks out far above any other that stops people from getting to the point where they can like publish their book? Is it complexity, or like just from like the book patch side? I know that you see all different types of authors come through.
It's analysis paralysis. It's oh, should I add this section in? Oh, should I? Oh, and then also, advanced readers can come into play quite a bit too, because they send it out, and so Jeff says, oh, they like, it looks great. 9 of the 10 people say it looks great, but they get one that's like, I don't like this piece. And then they go and change it. And then someone else says something, they go in and change it. So you want to take advice, but know where and how to implement that advice, if at all, right? So you got to be clear on your book, but it's the last minute changes, the going back to improve upon, and then it's a year down the road and your book still isn't published. So really sticking to your guns about what you want to release, and knowing that there can always be a version 2 or version 3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it is a pretty scary thought to think that you could sell 1,000 of these books and then you forgot something that's pretty glaringly obvious that anyone would have seen before. And I'm just waiting for people to start pointing out things that we need to change in our book. But like, also the expectation is that is going to happen.
Yeah, I would. I mean, there's always mistakes, even in the big novels that you read. You'll notice little sentence errors, your spelling errors, and things like maybe structure errors, and where it shouldn't be, or small things. It happens. It's part of the process. So, I would think just know that, even in the best books on the planet. I mean, The Great Gatsby, before it came to press, had thousands of errors in it. I mean, he was almost illiterate, so or it was almost illegible, I would say.
Yeah, I guess that's like why they say it's not the best author, it's the best selling author. It's like, how can you get a book out there and like actually sell it, or even just have the story sell people, right? But getting people to read it in the first place is
Right.
the part where like don't act like everyone's gonna see it unless you do a really good job planning and getting it out, or it just picks up off of something. But that's, I mean, I think like our main goal isn't like using Amazon and hoping that Amazon gives us like a bunch of like new sales and stuff. Like that'd be nice, but I mean, honestly, Amazon makes it really easy to download ebooks and stuff, but we still want to be bringing people from off of Amazon into, Jarvis Underground, like showcasing what Jarvis could do, obviously running the challenge and doing the big ticket book machine.
I mean,
there's a lot. I'm learning a lot about this whole process over the last few months. Like, just on the marketing side, there's so many things that go into place. It's almost impossible to do everything yourself. Well, it is in this case. So it's like picking and choosing what avenues are most important.
Right.
Just as much as the title.
I mean, yeah, there's so much that goes into it, but gosh, I'm blanking on what I was going to say. The just getting past that fear of publishing, I think is huge. So, yeah, and then the marketing beyond, even after you publish, is a whole nother thing in itself. So you have like a mountain and then another mountain behind it. But that's why we're here, and that's why we're doing the work that we do. Is to get the word out and get people going. I would think that this is what I was going to say. With Amazon, Amazon, there's no getting around it, right? It's just there, and you got to deal with it. But I think the value that we bring to the table in this atmosphere, like I'd hate for someone to miss out on the Jarvis Underground community, because the book is great, the course is great, but really just the accountability, the activity that goes on inside of the Jarvis Underground Facebook and the Conversion AI Facebook, and then even the Writing with Jarvis private group for members. That's where the real magic happens. It's this engagement here. So if someone reads a book and gets everything out of it, that's awesome. But I'd hate for them to miss this.
Yeah, impossible to get everything out of a book, right? And then the real learning comes when you put it into action. And so, I mean, like you said, like that's what this community is about, and that's what we want to continue to build up as this thing grows. Just fun times to be around when it comes to that. Yeah, I don't have much, but if no one's going to want to come up here from the crowd and everyone that's jumping in right now, great to see you. But if anyone wants to come up and just talk about their book and where they're at, if you're hitting any sort of writer's block, drop a comment and we'll see if we can get you up. But I think we're probably going to cap this at about 25-30 minutes or so, if nothing there, because we just have a few of these set for the rest of the week just to kind of jump on and kind of talk about this book stuff and that portion of it. But maybe play around with Jarvis a little bit more tomorrow, and have a few things there. I was using Jarvis today, writing some of the book description for our Amazon. Really just playing around with like the product description and different ways to, just directions to give Jarvis, different tones of voice, all of that stuff. And again, it's just a game of test,
right,
and work with it. So,
and we'll publish to Amazon tonight, right? Or is that?
I'm working on getting it up to pre-sale tonight, with the official launch date still being the 7th of next week. But we're just finalizing the formatting to upload to Kindle right now. Cool. So I'm working with the formatter on that. Hopefully things are good to get up there for the pre-sale. And then, like I said, like probably tomorrow morning, we'll email out to everyone that pre-ordered a book, got a physical edition, give you guys an update, and just keep pushing things along from there.
Sounds good. What do you think your biggest takeaway has been from this getting published with Jarvis done? because you had already done 2 books before, right? But I feel like this is both of our first really deep dive into this entire process, doing it ourselves. I mean, I do it for everyone else, but it's just a little different.
Yeah, I think it's like the approach that I was taking with it was, like, let's build it on the fly and kind of build the book from the feedback that the community was giving. And, the book stemmed from the excitement and like the participation around the actual challenge. And so like seeing like firsthand, especially from the get-go to this book, and seeing how just the entire Conversion AI community has been so active and helpful in giving feedback with the team that's developing Jarvis, to helping each other understand how to work with Jarvis, to doing stuff and like sharing people without like really like having that abundant like mentality of like there's enough to go around for everybody. And I'm learning tools and skills that can really help people break through barriers. So I don't think the book, like by any stretch of the imagination would have come around had it not been for the community that was behind the book. And so in any sort of venture, I mean, like obviously it's going to help if you have like a grassroots effort of people that have been with you and are supporting you in your journey. And without that, I would feel like I'm just putting a book out for the idea of like, okay, I've published 3 books in a year. Like that isn't anything more than a vanity metric.
Right.
But it's like, what's that book gonna kind of lead to? What's the impact that's gonna come from a book, and what's it gonna stem into? Is it gonna open up new doors, new opportunities? And it already has, just by going through the process. So I think it's a valuable experience for anybody to go through. And if you don't go through it now and you want to 10 years down the road, you'll just be 10 years behind, where you could have been if you hadn't started it. So just a great developmental experience.
I know we've talked about this offline, but do you want to share kind of what your goal is? Like what your goal is for the book? I know we didn't specifically have a numbers goal, right? But do you have a guess or an idea of where you'd like to hit?
Yeah, I mean, like, I think getting the book into like 10,000 people's hands is a number that's a lot more exciting than 1,000, because it shows that it kind of, I think I could by brute force sell the book to 1,000 people,
right,
with everyone that I've talked to over the last few months, which is great. But how do I get people to share the book? How do I get people to talk about the book, and really build momentum around it to get to 10,000 people? Because if it gets in 10,000 people's hands and it can start the process for 10,000 people who read the book and get inspired to start writing their own book as a result of it, like the trickle down effects from that are going to be huge, just by the different things that are going to happen as a result of people publishing books. And so beyond that, I don't really know what's going to happen tomorrow or next month or next year. But I mean, like, at the very least, if we can get make a big, like a sizable stomping, I think we can get 10,000 people through the challenge. And so if we can't get a book into 10,000 people's hands, how are you going to get the challenge out there? And then everything that happens after the challenge, it's just again, it feels like taking like one baby step up a mountain, at this point, but it's still a lot of ground that's been covered over the last, thinking since like February in the first challenge.
Can you believe May? Yeah, can you believe all of this has come from like a few months? I mean, it's nuts to me, right?
Yeah. It's crazy that people are getting results from their books without putting much into it, besides using it literally as just an example of what they already knew, right? Like the difference between a $5 to $10 to $20 to $50,000 client, for your business, could literally just be the fact that you pull up your book on a Zoom call and somebody catches it and says, hey, I want to like get that book. How do I get it? Oh, buy it on Amazon. Here, go to my website. That conversation opener is like just hearing the success stories from people that are taking the challenge and are like making new connections as a result of it, is cool to watch. And it, just kind of drives, I think, what both of us are doing here with building this out.
Absolutely. Yeah, I love seeing the results from our students. Michael Hale was launching his book today, I believe, and we had another student that is on to release his second book already using what we taught him. I mean, just insane stuff. So, super exciting, and it's just at the beginning. Yeah, I think 10,000 books is a goal for a personal goal for me this month, the month of June.
I think we can do it.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, I mean, like, obviously we're going to be asking people, over the next week or so, like 99 cents on Amazon to go and buy it, just to kind of, spike something there. But that's the kind of the thing that the biggest unknown here is if what we're doing actually like works from an algorithmic perspective. Like, how much is that actually going to move the needle, right? Like, you see these people that are charging $30,000 for a bestseller launch on, Amazon or Wall Street or, all of these big platforms. But Amazon in particular has a reputation for being, kind of like you're gaming the system, just because it updates every hour. And, it still takes a lot of work to get the bestseller status. Like, it still requires energy and all that stuff going into it. Is it anything more than just, oh, this is neat, I got a bestseller status, which like does open doors in itself, and it does, like have its own weight to it. But like the eyeballs and the buyers that come from that is really what's going to pique my interest more, because if we can, just like when I'm selling physical products on Amazon, like if you're doing 10 sales a day or 50 sales a day, right, and you're right in front of all of the demand and all the people that are searching for this stuff. I mean, I anticipate, based on like the stuff that I've gone through, using like Publisher Rocket and the tools that we have, thinking anywhere from like 10 to 25 a day, if we can like really stick some of the keywords and like the publishing space. But I could be pleasantly surprised, or I could be way too high after the dust kind of settles. So
right,
it's gonna be interesting to see, how, because we're doing some more paid advertising and affiliate partnerships too. And so, just, I think the mistake some people will make is leaving it all up to the hopes that they do rank and do well on Amazon. And, it's a game that I don't want to play anymore.
Right. Absolutely. So, we will see.
Yeah.
Well, if no one wants to hop up, do we want to kind of get?
Yeah, let's wrap it up. Thank you everybody for stopping by who was here. If you're checking on the recording, drop in, say hey. We're going to be doing this the next few days of this week, just kind of popping up, and super pumped for the challenge that starts this next week. If you haven't gotten a ticket, you just go to writingwithjarvis.com and check it out. And we'd love to have you in the challenge, or at the very least buy the book next week, so you can get a taste of what we're up to.
All righty, everyone.
Cheers, y'all.